Parks in the metro have been open again now for a while. And right now, we should all know the rules.
No swing sets,
no sports, and only gathering groups of 10 or less people. And you can see that all this is taking up about half of the road right now. This is one of the smaller sinkholes here, and you can see the amount of weeds that has started to grow up, some of them even taller than the cones that are in place. Here at 15th and Douglas, you can see what I'm standing on right now is one of the raised platforms. This is going to make it a lot easier to get onto the buses. This picture here was taken at the Rose Garden 9 days ago, and it shows many unmasked and not socially distanced people. We are just now learning new details on what led up to this scene that we're seeing here at 90th and Maple. Let me walk you through a little bit about what police were able to tell us. Emily, I think one of the things we really need to point out is how different this location in the old market feels compared to when we were at Target. When we were at Target, the police were prepared to be there. They were able to disperse crowds very quickly. It was very under control, and obviously now take a look. You can see it's a very different scene here. Houses flattened and some roads nearly impassable. Of the nearly 17,000 residents in Tama County, almost everybody is feeling some effect from the storm.
There's no calm after the storm in Tama and Toledo. Trees need to be pulled off houses. Generators need to keep the lights on.
Every time we have some type of major event, it's just learning from that one and getting better for the next one.
The second derecho in 10 years. This exceeds anything the county could have expected.
We just didn't realize how significant it was going to be.
The Tama Middle School, hard hit. Superintendent Jared Smith pushing the start of school back by 2 weeks.
It is heartbreaking when you think about the kids and what they're missing out on.
Olivia Meek was at summer camp inside the middle school just hours before the storm flattened the county.
Everything was just rattling and there was an earthquake.
Missing the disaster there, she was home with her family when a tree fell into the home.
She shut the door and the tree just fell. It was scary just knowing that everybody didn't know what to do.
Mom Gail Meek counts themselves among the fortunate.
We're lucky.
Waiting her turn for help. She's paying it forward, delivering lunch to crews this humid August day.
It's what we know is to stick together and help each other out, and no matter if you know them or not, your neighbors, your friends from out of state, out of town, no matter what, you're here to help.
Power lines are still down all over the county. They're hoping to have power restored by the weekend.
Hog farmers in rural Iowa have been hard hit, some of them with multiple structures and grain bins destroyed. They've decided the easiest way to clean up is to burn it.
You can see them on the horizon, plumes of black smoke acting as pinpoints. This one marks Carol Klaus's land.
Yes, been a lot.
A handful of buildings flattened.
The shop is gone, the barns are gone, and the hog building looks like it's gone.
She dug a hole in the ground and pushed the destruction in.
Whatever doesn't burn, put dirt back over top of it.
More than 20 years was invested into this 6-acre lot.
No, I did not think it was going to be as bad as it was. I was like devastated.
It's hard to believe her 400 head of hog all survived, but she did have to sell them off. Her neighbors weren't as lucky.
So there's a hog building down here that it's lost, total loss.
Aside from minor damage, her home is intact.
Yeah, I have a little leakage now in the basement from it raining so hard, so hopefully that can be fixed.
She's not counting this as an ending.
We'll move on. Got to move forward. Home's home.
With her power back and cleanup underway, Klaus is looking forward. Lileana Pearson, KCRG TV 9 News. The way 53-year-old Bev Borrow and 73-year-old Doris Crippen look at each other, you might think they're sisters catching up. And that's what they're doing. They only have 53 years worth of stories to share.
We hugged each other and we just both was overwhelmed because our search is over. We don't have to look anymore.
They're among 5 siblings, all separated more than 50 years ago. Bev, only 6 months old at the time.
I've missed out on her life and she's missed out on mine.
So, how did it happen? The sisters say it's God's work. Doris was recovering in the hospital from COVID-19 and a broken arm. As she was starting to improve, she was transferred from Omaha, where she lives, to Fremont, where a hospital had room for her. Bev, who works as a medication aide, saw her name on the patient list. It was the name her mother had told her about. years ago.
And I'd said to her, "Is your father Wendell Huffman?" She goes, "That's my daddy." And I pointed at myself, knowing she's hard of hearing, and going, "That's mine too."
And I nearly fell out of the chair and I just bursted into tears. It was just a happy feeling to find my sister.
The last time Doris saw Bev, she could hold her. And while there's no substitute for time lost, they're excited for what comes next.
And it was the Lord's blessing that I got sent here, people. Because if I wasn't sent here, I'd have never still found her and none of the rest of my brothers and sisters.